Hello everyone and welcome to the Clueless Internet Podcast, the first ever episode. I'm Alex, I'm here with my co-host Howard.
That's me.
And we're here today simply to literally just sit down, chat. I've got a load of facts and a load of stories and a load of pretty much everything. And we're just going to read them to you and ourselves. And we're just going to chat and things and just see how this goes. Welcome to the first ever episode. Howard, how are you?
I'm good.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you over the moon? Oh, not that excited. Yeah, no, neither am I. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't up all night thinking about this. No, I wasn't preparing myself. You've just been on holiday. You've just come back.
I've come
red
back
as a tomato.
Fucking fresh faced.
ready to record.
Break.
You're nearly as red as this as this bar right now. You guys can't see it, but we've got the recording set up and it's
immediately straight away we've done the first mistake for the podcast, which is point out something visual that no one can fucking see.
I thought that as soon as I pointed it, I was like, no one can see this. Why am I pointing? I might as well just be a floating head in a room.
Sit down and shut up.
Today,
Shut up.
shut up, Riley.
Sit down, be quiet. Shut up.
But I thought, why not kick this off with a few of the facts that I found. I've got a selection for you. I've got a selection of 5 ready for you. I've got the one about an airline employee who got fed up and quit in one of the best ways. I've got one how Sony fucked up when buying Spider-Man. With all the Spider-Man hype going on at the moment. Spider-Man's coming out relatively soon, isn't it? It's 2nd of July, I think.
Yeah.
2nd of July. I've got one about the Bridge of Tits. I've got one about a guy who was freed from prison. I've got a guy who was released from prison because he was able to escape.
What, like a reward?
Yeah, like the warden kind of just was like, okay, go on then.
You deserve it, mate.
But we'll get into that. Yeah, he did deserve it, to be fair. And my last one is an Australian Prime Minister who loved swimming a bit too much. A little bit too much. So which one would you like to hear about first?
Let's go for the employee. Let's go back to the beginning, yeah.
Okay, the first one. Okay. So this one was, he was an airline employee who, there was a few passengers. Do you know the overhead bins that you get in the cabin that you can just put like one of your bags in? There were some passengers that were just fighting over, I guess, some space in there because there's not a hell of a lot of space in those overhead cabins, and they started fighting. I haven't experienced fighting on a plane, but I assume it's a bit intense because you're in this metal tube with a lot of other people that you don't know, and you can just sort of, it's not a lot of room to fight, I guess. There's not a lot of room to punch
It's
someone.
going to just be a little slap fest, basically.
Yeah, just like, get away, that's my head bin. Did you have any problems on your flight when you went to Amsterdam? I didn't on mine. It was relatively easy.
No, everything was, getting through the airport was easy as well. The first time I'd ever flown. And it was, everything was easy.
No problems,
great,
no fights, no bomb threats.
No, I think on the first day we sat on the wrong side of the aisle, and some old bloke was like overly pissed off about it. It's like there wasn't. Yeah, we could.
Did they tell you to sit on the wrong side, or did you just decide and that
No,
guy was just like, "How could you?"
No, it was just a bit hot, and we were a bit flustered, and we just kind of like dumped our stuff and sat down, and then a few seconds later some old bloke and his biddy wife came up down the aisle and just started like swearing at us. It was like, you could have just asked us nicely to move, but no.
Oh shit, that's it.
Apparently it was the worst inconvenience he had ever been dealt.
It might have been that guy's life might have been very dull.
Amazing, just walking on clouds his whole life until this dickhead.
He just saw you and he just black clouds rained over and he was like, finally my chance. But yeah, I didn't see any problems on mine either. But it's a relatively short flight to Amsterdam, isn't it? So I don't think there's much tension. I guess this was probably a long haul flight. Anyway, he got into an argument with these people trying to do the overhead bin. I think it was a long time since I read this article. And he basically just went over to the PA and just told everyone, "I'm fed up. I'm quitting. I'm sick of this job." He shoot. Do you know the slide that they shoot just to get out? He slid down there with a beer in hand and ran. And
nice little touch, the beer.
Yeah, well, he's got to stay hydrated for the run back to his car. And when the cops caught up to him, he was caught having sex with his boyfriend. Not caught. I mean, he could do it in his own home if he wants to. But that's where they found him. Stop, please
stop, you
criminal! Just handcuffed him.
I don't know where to handcuff.
Oh God, I handcuffed the wrong limb. And then he essentially became sort of a folk hero in sort of the town. People were going mental about him, and he had this to say about his fame. He said, "It's been very, very appreciated. It seems like something here has resonated with a few people." That's kind of neat. He's a quite humble guy. He's a quite humble guy himself. Can you guess how long he could have got for this? Can you guess how long of a sentence he could have got for that? I can't believe that he was arrested just for quitting his job. I assume they have sort of do you know when a ship goes down and the captain has to go down with the ship and die? Which, P.S., fuck that rule. I'm sorry, if I'm about to hit an iceberg, I'm getting off that ship.
I don't know if it is a rule. Is it? Or is it like a...
Is
it one of those like fancy tales that we tell ourselves?
I
like,
swear it's a rule with
and...
ship drivers, captains, ship captains. I swear it's a rule where you literally have to go down with your ship no matter what. You have to stay with your crew. I think the crew can leave, but you can't. It's a kind of a shit deal. But can you guess how long he potentially could have got for this?
I suppose it depends on at what point in the flight process they were at. Like if they were like powering up engines and stuff,
gate.
And
I think they'd finished.
If
I
they
think
were
they'd
just
finished the flight,
were
I
they
think
just
they'd
chilling?
landed.
Okay.
Or I think they'd either landed or they were ready to take off.
Because you could have put like people at risk if you just like started fucking opening windows while the fucking jet engines are still on.
It's on the runway.
Yeah. I'm gonna say like I don't know. I want to say something like 20 years.
20 years? No. He could have got 7 years. He could have got 7 years in jail just for running home and having sex with his boyfriend.
Well, it wasn't just for.
Well, it wasn't just for that, but like he could have got handcuffed in some very peculiar areas. Luckily, this was quite a while ago, and he only got substance abuse program and counselling, and a year of probation. So
Substance abuse, was that for the beer?
I think so. I think he just they just saw him with one beer and just like, oh, there's probably alcohol.
That's the reason for everything that he just did.
Yeah, he wasn't fed up with everyone else. It was the alcohol. It's like with video games. When people do sort of violent crimes, they get just the video games get blamed.
What video games was he playing? Spyro.
I don't know, but when I'm playing Spider-Man, I don't want to jump off the Empire State Building, to be honest. But that was a nice, happy little ending to that one. That was quite a short one.
He still went to prison.
I mean, he got a probation. Did he go?
I suppose it was a happy ending. Happy ending for everyone that he might have put in danger.
Yeah, and I think people got a kick out of it. I think the town folk. He's a hero now.
Yeah.
The hero. He's not.
He probably didn't.
He's not a pilot.
He probably didn't do the 7 years. Was he just like a
No, he didn't do the 7 years. He got that substance abuse program counselling and the 1 year of probation. So I guess he just picks up litter for a year or something. But probably as he's picking up litter, you have people coming past going, "Oh, you're the best."
Your punishment is to do the litter picking on the runway, dodge the planes.
You have to pick up that one beer that you
but over and over
dropped.
again.
But we keep like taking it out of the bin and putting it down for you for 1 year. That's your torture. That would be torture. I'd say put me in.
You'd have some pretty damn good abs by the end of it, though.
I don't know if you would. I think, like, you wouldn't bend over, would you? You'd probably just use a stick. So you'd probably just have one really beefy arm by the end of it, and you just go into work the next day and just go, yeah, I'm a bad boy, and then it's just you got one massive arm. It looks like you just wanked for a year.
Said that like it was a bad thing.
As you just cover up your arm. So which one would you like to hear next? That was the first one. That was a short and sweet. I think most of these are short and sweet ones.
Let's bounce around. Let's get to that prison one. I want to hear.
You want to go to the prison one? This one's quite a long one, actually. This one is a longer one. Basically, there's this guy. There is going to be a guy in the story. Joseph Belito. I think it's either Belito or Belito Jones. Joseph Belito Jones. He was arrested with a couple of other people for stealing 3 loaves of bread, 1 piece of bacon, several cheeses, and other goods. I don't know what the other goods were, but I assume they were I assume they were of value, but they didn't mention them here, so I assume not. It was probably just something like lying around like a screw or something, just anything they could find. They were probably in a bit of a rush. But John's, like, he wasn't very polite to the judge. He was a bit of a dick. Did I say Jones or Johns? His last name is Johns. He wasn't very polite to the judge. He was a bit of a dickhead. And he got 10 years. He got 10 years for this, for just stealing bread, loaves, stuff. This was a long time ago.
Was that because... Was that partly because he was being a dick, though?
I think so, but this was also a long time ago. This is like in the 1800s. I probably should have mentioned that. He didn't just go to the local Tesco and just steal like a loaf of Hovis or something. It was probably a big deal back then. The town was probably starving to death. And he came.
Took me 3 weeks to make that loaf of bread.
Yeah, how dare you? Cut his hands off. I think he did 10 years. I think he did 10 years here. And then he got shipped off to Australia for bad behaviour because he seems a bit of a nasty bloke. He seems a bit of a nasty
stealing
bloke.
everyone's bread.
But
prick.
When he was in Australia, he was probably stealing all the prisoners' bread. Like somebody just had 1 loaf of bread to dip in their little shit soup, and he's like, "I'll have that, thank you very much." But when he got transferred to Australia, something must have clicked in his head or something. But he got released in 1855.
Nice, the weather, mate.
Very nice. He got released in 1855 for good behaviour, and this is when he's in.
Was he shipped back to England, or was he released into Australia?
No.
Okay.
He was released into Australia, just given a bag, and I assume just sent out. As I say, I haven't read these articles in quite a while, so I could be wrong, but I have the links to everything for everyone later on in the.
We'll put them in the description.
We'll put them in the description and everything like that, so you can read up on them. And there's loads of comments to all these because these are all from Reddit. So there's loads of comments of people that add stuff to the story as well as the articles. But they released him into Australia, and he set up this thing where he started to steal cattle, and they would walk into like territory that was I guess they're unmanned territory, and like sort of no one really owns it, so he'd just sort of wrangle up these cattle and stuff like that and just put them in a pen and put a ransom on them for the farmers to get them back. It's sort of like, I walked off your land, it's kind of on mine.
Did he actually own the land, or is it this bit's mine?
I don't think so. I think he was just like,
I like it.
There's my name on it. I drew it in the sand right there. Oh, he's English. He wouldn't speak with an Australian accent.
Mate, he's the originator.
But one of the days, a horse came onto his land, and he branded it. I think he branded it, or it was branded already by somebody else, and it came to the stealing. So they'd sent him back to prison. He was there for a couple of days, escaped, stole the horse, killed the horse, and then there was no evidence. There was no evidence. There was no evidence to take him back. But he did. He went back. He was in and out of prison basically. He kept escaping, getting back. He was like escaping with other prisoners, just stealing from houses, getting to. I think he travelled with someone so far that they went to the other side of Australia. I think they went to the other coast of Australia. They escaped and managed to get to the other side, but they were eventually...
Is this before motor cars? Is this when people are still on horses?
I think this is when we were back in good old days.
Jeez, that's a long way to go through the... Unless they went around the coast to go through the desert.
I think they might have. I think they got there somehow, basically. Yeah. They had the iron will. They just ran through trees. He was caught again. And he was sent to this prison where they built a cell for him made with stone and lined with very thick pieces of wood. It was in Western Australia because the governor of Western Australia, John Hampton, said to Johns, "If you get out again, I'll forgive you."
What?
Like,
what an idiot!
because he's got confidence. He's confident. He's just like, if you get out again, fair play. Like, I would have been the same probably. I'd have just been like, fuck it, if you can do it again. Because
Come on, Houdini, come on.
he's escaped so many times that they've built this cell for him. He built in the article in the Today I Learned post. It did say that they created a whole new prison for him, which sounded way more impressive.
Just for him.
Just for
John's
him.
prison.
John's prison. Well, but it was just a cell in a pretty big prison already. But yeah, they said if you escape again, I'll forgive you. And they couldn't let him sort of roam around the prison or do regular things that other prisoners did. They sort of just
Put him in solitary.
kind of, yeah. They had him working by smashing rocks. Essentially, that was his work. He came out of his cell, smashed rocks, went back. Like, it's an honest day's work, and he was just smashing these rocks. But essentially, they never took the rocks away. They never took any of these rocks away. They sort of just left them with him. And
So he'd just like sneak away with a bit of debris in his pocket.
he's just, I am the rock man. I'm going to clear the rocks. And he's just like, shut up, get back
This
to
bit's
yourself,
mine. And this bit's mine.
But with that pile of rocks, they couldn't see his legs, or they couldn't see below a certain point.
What he was doing below his waist.
And so he was next to a wall. And so what he started to do was just chip away at the wall when no one was looking below his legs, because no one could see, because these rocks were just blocking him or something like that. So he just started to...
Someone's going to walk by there, though. How did he cover up the
Because
hole?
someone's got to bring in the rocks. That's what I was thinking.
Either that or there's enough rocks there to keep him going for a couple of years. But someone's going to spot that hole. He didn't do that in one day.
No, I think he chipped away at it gradually.
Someone's going to spot that hole at some point, unless they were just completely fucking incompetent.
Well, they were probably confident. They were probably like
Either
that
or
Western governor.
He probably just piled some rocks up in front of it and made it look like the rest of the rock
Probably.
pile.
I think he probably did do that.
Yeah.
When he wasn't working on it, he probably moved some of the rocks back. He's a master criminal, this John. Pardon me. And essentially, he dug a hole. He dug a hole in the wall and escaped. He escaped through a little hole that he made in the wall by just piling up rocks so they couldn't see him. He was, however, caught.
Immediately, they were just waiting on the other side. Heard this fucking chipping noise, mate.
Thought it was you.
Chick, chick, chick. What was that?
And the new governor actually honoured the previous governor's
Because he's an idiot.
promise. Yeah, for some reason, he's just like, well, fair play. Clearly, everyone's just an escape artist in Australian prisons.
It was clearly a joke.
Yeah, so and he
Fucking
honoured it.
idiots.
He honoured it, and he just he let him walk free. I can't remember.
And then he stole all the cows.
Yeah, he just went back to stealing horses. They actually have a festival for him. He lived in a place called Moondyne. So his name was just, I think his name was Moondyne Johns, or I think that was his name. I think that was his nickname,
Yeah.
Moondyne Johns. I could be wrong, but they now have a festival for him called Moondyne Festival. But when I was looking it up, I didn't see an entry since 2016, so it could have failed.
Could be dead now.
I think.
Was it a fairly recent thing, or have they been going for like 100 years and now it's just dead?
I don't know, but 2016 was the last time that I
Gathered.
could find it being celebrated. So maybe people just got sick of it. I mean, the guy did get freed in 1871, so it's a pretty long ass time to celebrate someone.
Well, I was gonna say, what are you gonna do with the festival exactly? Just like break your own rocks, rock breaking competition.
Who
Who can get through the wall quicker? Yeah.
Who can escape rooms? They could just
Wrangling
have
the
escape
cows.
rooms. They could have escape rooms, like just stick somebody in a cell with big lumberwood and just say, well, if you can't escape, you starve. Many dead at the Moondyne festivals. Many dead.
Most are dead.
Yeah, pretty much all. I'm trapped in the cell currently. But that was it. That was Moondyne John's
What
story.
a fella.
What a guy. They built a whole cell just for him and he still escaped. What a fucking legend. There's probably loads of prisoners that probably just want to do exactly the same thing. Talking about that, I've seen prisoners. Have you seen some of the prisoners who have like phones in there and they're live streaming to Instagram Live?
Yeah, there's some weird ass prisons.
I don't know how they manage to do it.
I mean, I know that they're going to be low security prisons. Probably, or is it though? I need to do more research, but I imagine it's low offenders.
I would imagine so, because they'd probably check the cell every night if it's high security, wouldn't they? Like, they'd probably just go, "Oh shit, he had an old Nokia. It's alright, he won't be able to do anything on that. He'll be able to play Snake."
Fucking streaming on Twitch.
Where'd this gaming setup come from? I traded it for food.
For
stamps.
blowjobs?
I don't really know what they do in prison.
Blowjob stamps.
Yes, sure.
Believable.
That's yes. Which one would you like to hear next? Do you remember them?
What have we got left?
We've got the Sony fucking up when buying Spider-Man. We've got the Bridge of Tits. And last but not least, we have the Australian Prime Minister who loves swimming a bit too much. It's a very good pick. Two of them are quite short. One of them's
let's stay in Australia.
You want to stay in Australia?
While we're on there.
Okay. He wasn't the Prime Minister at the time of Moon dying, by the way.
Oh, okay.
He's sort of a recent Prime Minister, but this guy, Harold Holt.
Nice, solid name.
Nice. It's a nice, solid Australian name. He loves swimming and diving, as you can tell. He loved spearfishing, so much so that when he was spearfishing, he put dead fish into his wetsuit.
Oh, to attract larger?
I don't think so. I think it was just
predators?
to keep them. This essentially has nothing to do with the rest of the story. This is just like a little tidbit that I read and I was like, oh, okay, that's great. I think he just
I'll have to get class to me catch.
He just
keep it warm.
I am nature.
Lovely.
He just keeps it in there, and I think he just swims back. He probably just looks like a bloated person swimming back. Maybe it keeps him afloat. Who knows? Maybe all the dead fish, just the air inside, just keeps him afloat. I've made a new invention. It's called my Dead Fishinator.
The gas is released when they're dead. Keeps you afloat for days.
Smells like shit. Once I take this off.
Better to be alive, though.
We're probably offending so many Australian people
Nah,
with our
fucking
accents. Basically, the press secretary said that he was concerned with how much he was swimming and stuff because Australian waters are pretty shark infested and pretty dangerous. I mean, Australian land's pretty dangerous as well as the water.
Yeah. Everywhere's just either on fire or infested with things that will eat you.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think you'd survive very long on just on your own with nothing on you. You'd probably get eaten pretty quickly. But Holt told him, "Look, what are the odds that a prime minister would drown or be eaten by a shark?" Famous last words.
Fucking impossible, mate. It's fine.
There was this one day that he was just going around. He was just doing prime ministerial things. He was like going to meetings. He was meeting his family. He was just perusing, just as a prime minister would. It was Sunday, the 17th of December, 1967.
Good announcer voice.
Yes, and he was.
I want to put a little Liam Neeson on there.
I think he was on his way. I've got a good story about some Liam Neeson thing. It's not Liam Neeson, but it's sort of like it. I'll save that for later. He was. I think he was just driving past sort of this nice little place of water, and was just like, "What? Let's go for a swim. Let's go for a swim." And essentially, he got dragged out under the water by the currents. He was just gone. 1 minute he was there, 1 minute he was gone. Somebody described it like a leaf being taken out, so quick and final. He was just gone. After that, somebody took his car, drove it up to the I think it was sort of a scouts, or it was either a scouts or sort of a military base sort of thing. But it was during the holidays, 17th of December. Most people were gone home, so it was practically nearly abandoned. But they were radioing, "Oh, the Prime Minister's gone. He's gone underwater. He's gone.
We've lost Harry."
What do you mean he's gone? He's been taken under the water in the bathtub. The sea.
He just went off.
He's just gone. It was one of the largest search operations in Australian history. It had 340 personnel, including helicopters, watercrafts, police divers, and even 2 naval diving teams just to find him. They never did.
Like, never.
I don't think he was ever found. It didn't mention it, that he was ever found. I could be wrong. I hope he was found. Holt. Hope you were found. Just Harold. I hope you were found. But I don't think he was.
Oh, man.
I don't think he was found. I think he was
Poor
completely
Harry.
gone. As I say, I have not read these articles in a little while, but
I'll look
rest
at,
assured,
I want to look into that myself. I'm going to look into it. I want to find out if they were found.
rest assured, I'm pretty sure I would have put it down if he would have been found. But what a way to go! At least he did something he loved.
Yeah.
At least he was doing what he loved. He'd gone a bit of diving. At least he didn't get eaten by sharks.
Hey, now it's
He
my
could
turn.
have.
It was his turn to join. After putting all those fishes in his
In his
wetsuit.
they're their wetsuit.
The wetsuit of the sea.
He was put into a fish, probably a shark. He's probably been eaten by a shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or just like the undercurrents took him like way out too far to sea, and
Maybe he's
He
a
was
prime
noticing.
minister of his own little island now. He's got his own. Maybe he's owner of a Harold Holt Island.
a good way
And
to
it's
fake your
cult.
death as well, though, if you ever did.
I guess so. Well, yeah. To be
Pretty cool
fair,
story.
it's a
No one
bit
would
of a
question.
bit of a dangerous way to do it. You could just write to the paper, "Oh no, he's dead."
Well, no, you just kind of sit in a pond and then just like, and then just don't come up for 10 minutes. I don't know how that works.
Harold, we can see you down there. He's just like, I'm dead. I can see you, Harold. Go
Harold.
away.
Just swim up.
Just sit up, Harold. Just bend up. Just bend upwards. Oh, he's gone.
Why
He's
aren't
gone,
I helping him?
He's gone. It's very entertaining. We've got two left.
That was probably very
to pick from.
offensive. We'll have to cut that out.
Probably.
It was recent, did you say?
I don't think it was recent. I think Harold Holt. I don't know actually. I might have to look into that. If it's very recent.
That
it
was very
might.
disrespectful, and we apologise.
Yes. With disclaimer: we don't care. Okay, so we've got two more left. We've got the Sony fucking up while buying Spider-Man, and we've got the Bridge of Tits. You might already know about the Sony fucking up about Spider-Man.
I'm going to assume it was that they didn't buy the rights to all of the property, and they only bought the rights to the movie.
Well, we'll see.
Let's go with Spider-Man.
You want to go with Spider-Man? You want to go with Spider-Man?
I do love me a bit of
okay.
Spider-Man.
So this is in 1998, best year. A lot of great things happened. Moi being one of them. Sony wanted to buy Spider-Man. I guess was this when Marvel was struggling financially.
This is when I think the most money they were making was from their toys and merchandise. I don't think they were selling many comics or. And I think what they were trying to do in movies was never really kicked off. I mean, I think obviously they didn't have a Marvel Studios at that point. I think at that point they'd made Blade. Obviously there had been the old films like the old Captain America and stuff.
But not massive
Nothing
success.
that, like,
it was
no.
DC more then, wasn't it? Because you had
you'd had the Batman
films.
series, which unfortunately kind of died with Batman and Robin. I remember
They're starting to come back now.
I remember going to see that.
I think DC is starting to get better now with the release of Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
I was just listening to Kevin Smith's podcast, Fat Man Beyond, and basically Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams' production studio. They were looking around for a larger company to essentially house them and take up the funding kind of thing. And they've now gone to Warner, and it looks like once this Star Wars trilogy is over with, he might be going to DC to run their DC. So you got J.J. Abrams, because J.J. Abrams is the guy who starts franchises or
That's
gives
interesting.
them a refresh. He's at the moment it's all rumors, but it looks like he might be going there to give the DC universe a kickstart.
He's a double spy then, because at the moment he's writing for Spider-Man as well.
Is he? Well, he's only a writer on there,
He's
though. He's
writing
not
on
like a
the
producer.
comics.
He's
Writing a comic series.
Well, they tend to keep the comics and the movies as separate
It's
entities
two
now.
separate entities, isn't it? Really, it's like the cinematic.
It's almost like
universe
you've got
and
two completely different studios working on the two things. So, like, obviously they kind of cross over. Like the writers from the comic books will help with the writers on movies, like being their kind of like resource for information about the books.
consultant sort of style. Oh, like sort of. Is it George R. R. Martin was for the Game of Thrones series. He was a consultant for like 2 series, I think, and then they sort of just dropped him and was just like, we've read the book. But it was this big announcement with J.J. Abrams, and they had on, I don't know if you saw this, but it was on a website, and they had sort of the Raimi style number 4 on a website, and people were like, what the fuck are they making a Raimi for? And then it came down to 3 the next day, and then 2, and people were like, fuck.
Yo.
And then it announced J.J. Abrams was writing like a limited series for the Spider-Man. Him and his son, who are exactly the same. When like they were literally just finishing each other's sentences. It was weird.
I would love a multiverse Spider-Man though, with Maguire and Garfield.
Oh, hell yeah.
It would be amazing.
I'd probably buy multiple tickets to that. I'd go to sequential screenings just to watch it over and over.
Just do the Secret Wars storyline from the 90s
please,
cartoon,
Marvel.
please. It was amazing.
Please, Marvel. Anyway, back to Sony fucking up. Sony fucked up. They haven't fucked up recently. They've done pretty well. But back then, they fucked up because they as you did say, they were... offered all of the characters. They were essentially offered...
Wait, all the Marvel characters, or just all the characters from Spider-Man's universe?
I think they were offered all the Marvel characters.
Holy
They were offered like Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther, Ant-Man.
Oh, man.
But they only bought Spider-Man. They bought Spider-Man for $7 million. They were offered all of these characters for $25 million.
Well, at the time, Spider-Man in the 90s... in the 90s especially, he was kind of DC's Batman. I mean, obviously they're completely different like styles of character, but he was the one that was most well known. Maybe at a push, maybe Wolverine was possibly a little bit more well known. But I'm assuming Fox already had the rights to the X-Men properties at that point, like because they would have been gearing up to do the first X-Men film, wasn't that in like the early 2000s?
They as you say, like that Iron Man, Thor, and like all these other characters, they weren't really popular then. It would sort of been. Do you remember the when not Suicide Squad, when Guardians of the Galaxy first was announced, and people who aren't massive comic book fans are sort of like Rocket Raccoon?
Yeah,
like it was sort of like that. Iron Man was just like a nobody. He was sort of like this secondary character.
I'm surprised they didn't take them up, because I mean during the 90s they had the Marvel kind of like their own MCU in the cartoon verse. They had Iron Man had his own show, Hulk had his own show.
They had the Avengers show, didn't they?
Spider-Man, I don't think they did.
Did they not at that point? I could have sworn they had like some Avengers.
They may have done. I'd have to look into it, but they had Fantastic Four, they had Iron Man, they had Hulk, they had Spider-Man, they had X-Men, and I think even some lesser known characters. But they built an MCU in the 90s in the cartoons. I mean, you had Blade in the Spider-Man cartoon, you had that vampire who's getting his own movie, Morpheus, I think it was.
Oh, Morbius.
Morbius, yeah. And you had, like, in the Spider-Man Secret Wars storyline, you had some of the Avengers, you had, like, Captain America and stuff in there. I think there was another crossover in the X-Men cartoons where Wolverine did a mission in, like, World War II with Captain America.
I guess they were pretty popular then. I guess just in the movie verse.
Amongst kids, those shows, as far as I'm aware, were pretty damn popular at the time. So I'm surprised they didn't jump at the chance to maybe replicate that in a movie universe.
This is what the heads of Sony said at the time. They said, nobody gives a shit about any of the other Marvel characters. Go back and do a deal for only Spider-Man.
Only I know what's good for this company.
Get me pictures of Spider-Man.
Just get me pictures of Spider-Man.
And they were offered all these characters for I think it was $25 million. They were offered all these characters in bulk. And Disney ended up buying Marvel for $4 billion in 2009. So
that could have all been changed if they just...
10 years later, they were bought for $4 billion. The whole of Marvel was bought for like $4 billion.
Disney.
So Disney, yeah. Marvel was bought by Disney, yeah. So it's a big wah, wah, wah.
That's crazy.
But they've kind of kept Spider-Man on a leash, haven't they? Really, they've kind of like. They have kept it well. They've sort of like, you can use it a little bit.
They've done
here and there.
They've done what I always wanted Fox to do, by sharing the property, and I think they've all done the right thing. But like both studios, by working together, and
it makes more money, doesn't it?
It makes more money for everyone.
The production quality of Marvel with the characters that Sony owns, everyone wins, don't they? Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sony fucked up while buying Spider-Man. They could have bought everyone, but they said, Iron Man.
Who the fuck is Tony
Iron Man's a
Stank?
bit... Are you Tony Stank? So that leaves us with the last one. That leaves us with the Bridge of Tits. This is a very short and sweet one. Venice, they designed a bridge, literally called the Bridge of Tits, essentially. It was called the Ponte delle Tit. Ponte le Tit. It was Ponte delle Tit. They would essentially just, as you could imagine, they just exposed their breasts to people who were walking past. It was just one bridge in Venice.
I thought it was like someone had sculpted like pillars of tits.
It was for prostitutes. It was for prostitutes. It was for prostitutes.
That's still no reason why you couldn't get a bit of artwork in there, a bit of architecture.
They probably did.
I hope they did.
So do I. I haven't got a picture of it, unfortunately. You might have to search that up on your own. Please don't use your work computer for this.
I will.
But they essentially it was just like an advertising thing. So if Microsoft would have been on there, it probably would have just had Microsoft across someone's chest, something like that. But it was to just show off to potential clients, just show the goods, as it were. But they were also used to convert homosexuals. They were also used. They
just grabbed someone's face and just run them along the bubbies. Come on.
I don't know, just like it's therapy. It's just sort of like, but yeah,
just motorboat. Just.
I think they were there to entice and convert suspected homosexuals. So I think it was like, oh, he looks a bit homosexual. Get him next to the bridge.
Burn the witch.
Get him next to the bridge. In the 18th century, there was the more attractive prostitutes were allowed to work in the city to bring in tourists. So it was, but if you were a bit old and withered, you'd sort of be, you'd go on, get to the outskirts.
Get on the bridge.
Go on. So once you passed a certain beauty standard, you'd have to pack your bags and have a longer commute. Because if you're living in the middle of the city and then you've suddenly got to walk all the way to the end of the city to do your trade, that's a longer commute. It's a good podcast listening time for these prostitutes.
Three real and three fake.
But now we move on to one of I hopefully will be my favourite section. We've got 3 real, 3 fake stories for you today.
Oh yes.
So, I can either read them all out and then you guess, or I can read them one by one and then you can guess whether they're real or fake, and then I'll tell you at the end. It's up to you how you really want to do this.
How many we got? So we've got 3 real, 3 fake.
3 real, 3 fake. So we've got 6 overall. How do you want to play this? Do you reckon you'll be able to remember them all by the end, or do you think you'd want to go one by one?
Let's go one by one.
You want to go one by one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not make it any more difficult for anyone, including the listeners.
Okay.
Listener.
Me.
It's just me. I'll be listening later.
Just me. The first one I've got for you is over 3,000 people every year from across the globe travel to Kent to get face rubs from a dog. You're going to have to remember which ones you said are real and fake as well. You're going to have to mentally make a note of this as well. Yeah. Keep track at home, everyone. Keep track at home of how much you got as well.
I'm going to go with real. That sounds like something
You're gonna go real
sounds something very British.
Okay. My next one is man cures his hay fever by rubbing stinging nettles on skin once a week.
Let's go with
This one sounds more painful.
It sounds painful, but it kind of sounds like a good way to immunise yourself. I'm going to say false.
You're going to say false on that one. Okay, so my next one is Florida man plans to build own rocket and fly to North Korea to fist fight leader Kim Jong Un.
Did you say Florida man?
Florida man.
That's true.
Florida man. Yeah, so Florida man plans to build own rocket to fly to North Korea to fist fight leader Kim Jong Un. So you say that one's real.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
The next one is doctors urge women to stop putting garlic in their vaginas. They're just advising. It's just if you walk into an NHS doctor. I don't think it's in England.
Hang on, is Goop behind this?
Goop might be behind
Goop.
this. You don't know. You have to wait to find it, see if it's real. But plastered across NHSs. Don't put garlic in your vagina. That's a warning.
Well,
to
I haven't seen it
as well.
I haven't seen it, but I suppose that I'm not exactly the target audience, or am I?
You just go around.
I'm gonna say false. I haven't seen anything.
You're gonna say false to that one. A family in Philadelphia are believed to have been robbed by the spirit of Michael Jackson.
Where was this again?
Philadelphia. This is Philadelphia. This isn't Florida.
False.
Do you want to say false on that one? And my last one is man tries to board flight naked, saying clothes make him less aerodynamic.
True.
That one's true. Okay. So, I can proudly say that man cures his hay fever by rubbing stinging nettles on skin once a week is true.
Oh, I said false.
That is true.
I said false. Damn it.
There's a long sort of. He made a Facebook post.
Has he got proof, or does he just rub nettles on his face?
Well, he says a random old man told him to do this.
Just
so
came up to him and said, "Rub nettles in your face."
Yeah, he didn't say like, "Oh, he cures hay fever." He's just like, "Nettles.
I hate you.
End of the world." Yeah,
You're always standing
just sort
right
of there,
there,
just pushing his face into nettles. You always walk around this park.
looking happy.
Damn you!
I wish I was happy.
I'm old. But he said just some random old man told him this. He said his wife thought that he was crazy, which is kind of justified. But apparently what you have to do is, this is, if you want to try this, I know you suffer with hay fever. If you want to try this, at the start of spring, you want to pick nettles and you want to sting yourself once a week until autumn.
Yeah.
Once a week until autumn.
That's not too
It
bad.
doesn't
I've
last
been
a long time.
I've fallen into a pit of nettles when I was younger, so the sting doesn't really bother me anymore. Like when you fall like with your whole body and you're just wearing a t-shirt
Into the whole pit
into
of nettles.
just a pit of nettles, you just get stung everywhere. It was probably one of the most painful things I've ever fucking experienced.
In my life.
Yeah.
I've had some nettles outside when I've been trying to walk out onto the canal. I've had sort of problems with nettles just stinging my ankles. But yeah, so you're supposed to sting yourself once a week until autumn. The immune system concentrates on the nettles and forgets about the pollen.
Oh, so you don't completely immunise yourself. It's just
You sort of distract your body from what makes you sniffly. So it's concentrate on this pain instead of giving me pain.
Oh, so okay, actually that kind of makes sense. I'm going to guess with the science that your body creates, the reason when you've got hay fever you take antihistamines is because your body releases histamines to fight off something that it perceives as that shouldn't be in the body. So the reason you sneeze a lot and your sinuses tend to flare up is because pollen and things like that get in your nose, they irritate the body, and the body tries to force eject that, which is why you're sneezing a lot, while your eyes run, because it's trying to run anything out of your system.
It's just trying to get rid of it. It's trying to clear the system
quickly as possible, which means I assume that if you got stung by nettles and you suffer from hay fever, all your histamines are going to be focused on ejecting the is it venom? It's not venom. It's the hairs, isn't it? It's little tiny hairs.
Stinging, isn't it? So I assume it might be a little venom because.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure.
I assume it might be worth trying next year. I might try it. I'll give it a go.
Start picking up nettles. You'll just come in with like a massive hand. But this guy has said he's had 3 years, no problems.
Other than a sore hand.
Other than a sore hand until autumn. But from autumn till spring, he's ready to go. This guy. That one with the over 3,000 people every year from across the globe travel to Kent to get their face rubbed from dogs.
True.
That's fake. Aww. That is false. That is false.
I'll go to Kent to get a massage from a dog.
You'll probably be.
I'll take one
looked at very funny.
I'll take one for the team.
You're just walking around a dog.
Because then I can say it was true.
You can say it would be.
Especially if I
go down to 1.
Well, no. If I start a trend.
Hashtag Kent rubs. Hashtag get your Kent rubbed by a dog.
I like it.
Sell it. Print
it.
The doctors urge women to stop using garlic on their vaginas. That was
false.
real.
Oh damn it! I didn't see anything about this.
Women have actually been using bath bombs, parsley, cucumbers, just
fucking shove anything up there, mate.
it's apparently just to get rid of yeast infection.
Well, you could just try cleaning yourself.
Yeah, to be honest. But Dr. Jennifer Gunter, who is a professional in this, says that it doesn't cure yeast infection. The garlic itself does have properties that can get rid
Break
of yeast
down.
infection.
Yeah.
It has
But does the negatives outweigh the positives? I assume.
well, it's allicin, something like that, is contained in garlic, but it's only released once it's chopped or crushed. But apparently these women are just shoving
old clover up there.
Yeah, just a few clovers up there. But it does have antifungal properties, but only in a petri dish, not in your feminine parts. It doesn't have those properties if you just put it in there. It does it in a lab,
Yeah.
but not in your bedroom.
You're not making a bolognese.
The Florida man, making bolognese. Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right.
Oh, God. Hopefully not. Please don't. The Florida man plans to build his own rocket and fly to
True.
North Korea to
Fucking
fistfight
true.
Kim Jong Un. False. That one is false. I made that one up.
Damn it.
Man tries to board flight naked, saying clothes make him less aerodynamic.
What did I say to that one? I said.
Did you
I
say
said
real?
true. No,
You
I said true on this
You were
one.
right?
Yeah.
Is that the
I
one?
think I might have heard this one.
Did you get one? Is this the first one you got right?
I think this is the first one. No.
Did you get one of the other ones?
No,
right?
no, this is the first one I got
This
right.
is the first one that you got right, so I've tricked you on two. Yeah, do you know sort of when you go into this little room before you go on the airplane, you give them your passport, you sit in this waiting room
Yeah.
before you actually walk on.
Yeah.
He got naked then. He didn't get naked when he was on the plane. He got naked beforehand, so he was ready.
He didn't argue that it only made him aerodynamic on the plane.
It
It just makes me aerodynamic in
I
general.
could just walk faster. I do this all the time. What do you mean? Apparently, he was shouting that he flies with more agility when undressed. There was no signs of him being drunk, though. There was no signs of him being drunk.
Any signs
he
of
just does this.
Any signs of any mental illness or?
I don't think so. I think he was just.
He was just fucking convinced. He was
I would
convinced.
assume so.
No?
I would assume some mental illness.
I was
or
hoping someone had convinced him.
maybe he's on mushrooms. Something. Maybe I have no idea. But apparently he's Russian. He's a Russian man.
And he's always a rushing to get everywhere.
Well, yeah, he's rushing all the time. He's naked, rushing everywhere. He gets there really quick, though. Like, if he says he's going to be there at 4, he'll get there at 3:59. He's fast as fuck, boy. He's actually the new Sonic. He plays the new Sonic in the film.
I can't wait to see this film.
M-Fest. Got
Go fast.
Go Fest. And a family in Philadelphia, you can kind of guess where this is going. A family in Philadelphia are believed to have been robbed by the spirit of Michael.
I said false.
You said false. You got 2 right then. That one's fake. That one is completely fake.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson did not come back to steal anyone's crockery.
Today, I fucked up.
So now we move on to one of my probably most favourite sections, probably, even though we've never done it, but I have decided this is my favourite section. It is a fucked up world where I've gathered 5 stories. We might not be able to get to all of them. Hopefully we'll get to a few. Where I've taken some Today I Fucked Up stories and I'm going to read them to you.
And I'm going to listen.
You are going to
Just
listen.
like all of you.
The first one is Today I Fucked Up by bringing a sex toy to a family birthday party. The second one is Today I Fucked Up by having my mom take me to ER for blue balls. The third one, that one's quite a long one actually. Today I fucked up by menstruating all over my ex's mom's white cat.
How did they get my story?
Take that out. Today I fucked up by buying my neighbour pizza. And, that was it actually. That was it. I just have those ones. Those are the ones that I have. Oh, actually, no, I have a very short one. I accidentally missed it. Today I fucked up by having a threesome.
How'd you fuck?
You'll have to wait
Did
to
you
find
fuck
out.
the threesome?
You'll
Or
have
just-
to wait and find it. I want this one. That one isn't. I remember this one actually. It's not so much a funny story. I kind of wanted to get your view on it, but we can get to that if you pick it.
Alright.
Which one do you want to pick? Which one do you want to kick this off with?
Well, let's go with the idea. You said let's
Yes. Okay, I'll start with that one. Perfect.
let's go with the short one then first.
You want to go with the short one? You
Yeah,
want to go? Today I fucked up by having
round
a
off.
threesome.
We'll round off with blue balls,
Okay.
as I do everything.
So, oh god. So yeah, this is today I fucked up by having a threesome. This starts off with, my girlfriend and I have been together for several months now. We only see each other on weekends due to distance and work schedules, not work issues, work schedules. But I guess that is a pretty big issue. Anyway, but this last weekend, I fucked up. Her friend was hanging out with us, who is also female. They were making out and grabbing on each other, which also, sorry, red flag straight away. Sorry, just to chime in there. What?
He's more than friends.
Yes, they suit. Yeah, and well, one thing led to another, and the next, and one thing led to another, and the next thing I know, I was involved. We went to the bed and started fucking. But before I went inside her friend, before I entered, she's coming in your air.
just
I'll make a miss.
coming in, love.
Hello. I looked at my girlfriend in the eyes and asked, "Is this okay?" She said yes, but shortly after this, my girlfriend got up and left. But we thought she went to the bathroom. After a few minutes, we stopped having sex and went to look for her, but couldn't find her for 15 minutes. She disappeared. My girlfriend was understanding and wasn't upset with me or her friend, or so I thought. I called her the following night because I felt extremely guilty. She said it was okay, and it was just a spur of the moment kind of thing. She simply asked that I never do it again. So it's all fine. It's all fine. She ran off for some reason. It's okay. I'm just going to leave and be upset. Come this weekend, she breaks up with me over text, saying she doesn't want to be with someone who slept with her friend. I absolutely love her so much, but I let lust get between us. I really fucked up, guys.
Did they?
I don't think
It seems like
he fucked.
everything was going smooth.
He fucked up her friend, but I don't think that he fucked up. He asked her if it was okay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone fucked up in this. I mean, even the girl who walked out, I don't think anyone. I think she just had a change of heart and left. But
I already said there was a red flag there.
Yeah,
When
she's-
it's just like you're sitting there watching Nemo or something, and just all of a sudden your girlfriend and this random girl, or probably not a random girl, her friend, just start making out. It's
and then
like,
they invite you over.
we're trying to find Nemo here. Come on.
He's not in there.
Yeah, I promise you, he's not in there. I've checked.
I mean, I've never done such a thing in my life.
Let's have sex. Yeah, I didn't think this guy fucked up either. And I read some of the comments, and the guys, like, I assume mostly guys, probably women as well, were just like, dude.
You couldn't have foreseen that coming. She wasn't giving off the vibes that she was pissed off until the moment she just walked out.
People were saying that maybe she just backed out at the last second because she was overcome with emotion. But at that point, you don't just walk out. You just say, "Stop! I'm not comfortable with it." It wasn't like the guy just sort of went for it and just didn't take her feelings into account. He asked.
I'm assuming. Well, yeah, he was invited over. He was bloody polite for someone in the throes of lust.
He was like, "Is this okay?"
Is this?
Yeah, I think that guy was completely fine. You're okay. I think this is his name, Bled 3C.
Oof.
Bled 3C. I think that was his name. But yeah, ding 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 from me. You're okay,
no,
but
yeah, you're good.
You're
good.
fine. You're fine.
Everyone
buddy.
in that story was good, except
from the girlfriend who broke up with you. She go hang out with the friend now. She seems up for it.
Yeah, she seems alright.
And she seems well down. Anyway, next story. Which one do you want to hear? Do you want to hear about the blue balls, the white cat, the pizza to the neighbour? The pizza to the neighbour's kind of a short one.
Well, Let's go for the cat.
You want to go for the cat?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, this was a while ago, but a big fuck up nevertheless. Nonetheless, my ex and I broke up. It was mutual and not too big of a deal. His mom, however, was under the impression it was because I did something wrong. We always got along just fine, but the moment the breakup happened, she turned real cold, and for lack of a better word, bitchy. So she turned into a right bitch. Also, we're being told.
Oh, yeah, we've only got one side of the story.
I bet say we've only got one side of the story. I'll wait until the mom chimes in with today I fucked up by beating the shit out of my son's ex-girlfriend for menstruating on our cat. I don't think that one's coming. A couple weeks after the breakup, I decided it was time to remove my belongings from his apartment. Just remove them.
Not relocate them, just remove them from existence.
Into the nether. This happened with ease, and things were going smoothly. We ended up having a couple of heart-to-hearts, which wasn't part of the plan, but ended up taking hours longer than I expected. They had sex. No, I don't think so. Well, I don't know. Maybe they did. After I loaded up my car, and after we talked for a while, I remember that I still had a handful of things left at his mum's place. She lives about an hour away on lakefront property, which sounds quite nice. That sounds quite nice. It sounds quite... I don't know why I'm getting Australian vibes again from lakefront. I don't know. Don't ask.
We haven't got a location for this one.
No. But then again, it says here... so I had left a couple of bathing suits and towels there for convenience. So I guess
somewhere near the coast.
Near water.
Yeah.
Imagine if they're just next to a canal. Going swimming today. Doesn't look as green. I was exhausted from the nature of the day, but I didn't want to drag this out longer than I had to. So I decided to drive out that afternoon after checking with her that it was okay. As soon as I get there, she starts giving me a hard time. I'm just trying to get my things and get out as soon as possible, and I hear her saying some passive-aggressive things under her breath. She was watching me like a hawk. She was on top of a door frame. She was just perched on top of the bed going...
That's a crow.
Oh, is that a crow? Well...
Oh, aren't they more like high pitched? Like...
I don't know. Whatever noise she was making, it was unsettling. I guess in case I tried to steal anything, which is ridiculous. She had no reason not to trust me. Anyway, this is where the fuck-up starts to happen. This morning, I decided to try out my first menstrual cup. Given how the day unfolded differently than I expected, I forgot to clean it out. If you aren't familiar with menstrual cups, they are exactly what they sound like. A cup. It's just a mug. It's my favourite mug. They're a little cup that you insert, and it holds all the blood until you remove and dump it. So it's sort of like a vacuum. You just sort of empty it later on. If you don't do it carefully, however, you can spill it, making a mess everywhere. I think you can see where this is going. I thought about waiting until I got home, but it was full and I was nervous about the long car ride home. I quickly ran to the bathroom, excusing myself, and began to attempt my first cup removal. I'm in an awkward position with one leg up on the toilet seat and trying to crouch with both legs so I can get the angle. So I'm
I've got a visual.
Lock that mental image in.
And just put it away.
At that moment, my ex's mum's beloved white cat walks in. You didn't lock the door or anything.
You all right?
You don't... Jesus, I hope they've got a door. In the guest bathroom, the door doesn't fully shut unless you pull it really hard. And you're not given any indication. It's not fully shut until the cat pushes his way in. So essentially, you just got to go in and slam that thing so that the cat doesn't walk in. I don't know why you wouldn't do that in this delicate moment of...
Well, if you've got reach from the toilet seat as well, I'd have put a fucking leg up against that door and held it shut.
I'd have just grown an extra leg in it, or just... You would definitely shut that door.
You'd wedge something under it. You'd fucking keep that closed.
I don't care what I'm doing in the bathroom. I like to lock the bathroom I've got no worries of even if I'm brushing my teeth, just someone coming in and I just spew it out everywhere at someone. But But yeah, so she forgot about this part. I forgot about this part, given the stress and exhaustion of the day, which is not understandable at all. I see the cat walk in, so I start trying to push the cat away with my foot that's on the ground, resulting in me sort of propelling myself up with my other leg that's on the toilet seat. So I'm assuming she's sort of just shuffled further onto the toilet seat. Her foot's gone sort of to the back where the water tank is, just to give everyone a nice little
I
visual.
feel like she's trying to cover up for the fact that she got so pissed off with the cat that she just threw the cup at it. If she was having a bad day.
I'm also trying to... Oh, that was it. I'm also trying to push the cat away with the free hand while my other hand is reaching up my goods. I should have just stopped trying to pull out the cup, which was my mistake. I managed to pull the cup out, feeling quite proud of myself until I looked down and saw my ex's mom's beautiful white cat covered in blood. It looks like the cat just experienced and survived the Red Wedding, if I'm being honest. Which is
Game of Thrones
Thrones reference. I'm not going to ask what happened because I guess people don't know the spoilers.
Stabby.
Yep, that's what I assumed. I don't want to know who, and I don't think anyone else does at this point. I tried really hard to wipe off the blood, but it just sort of makes it worse.
Yeah, you don't wipe. No, you need to put that cat in the fucking bath, mate.
Well, I thought he was about to say the bin.
Yes, bin that cat. It's done. Get a new one.
It's done. It's covered. Sort of makes it worse and smears the blood into his fur even more. He starts walking around too, so there are blood paw prints everywhere. Oh, no. I realised the towel I was using was also now evidence and covered in blood as well.
Evidence.
And you know how white a bathroom usually is? Like...
No.
Mine's completely
mine's
black.
just, yeah.
I don't have lights.
Bathroom.
But like, oh god, I can't imagine because like people have tiled walls in bathrooms. I don't think mine's tiled. So if a cat just sort of if it went up the wall or I don't
just
know
bin that bathroom. Start again.
Yeah, bin that bathroom, bin that cat. Just.
Right, I'm packing up and moving out.
Yeah, see you later. After about 10 minutes of trying and failing to cover up my fuck up, I realise there's no going back. I run out of the bathroom, quickly grab the bags of items I came to get and left. I think I said something quickly like, "Thanks for letting me keep my stuff here. It's been fun, bye," to my ex's mum before leaving.
Totally didn't just ruin
your house. Like, sorry. Oh, God.
Don't go in the bathroom for like 20 years.
That cat must have walked everywhere. Oh, my. Imagine if she had like a white rug or something everywhere.
So the moment she left, that cat came out of that bathroom just like, the fuck just happened?
Came out and just like, yes, my time has come. About halfway home, I received a text from my ex saying, "What the hell did you do to my mum's cat?" I never answered, and I have never heard from him or his mum again. So a nice ending. If you ask me. You never have to see those people ever again.
I'm gonna place the blame solely on the cat.
You say it shouldn't have walked in. It should have known better.
Fuck off, mate.
The door's closed. The door is firmly closed. Do not walk in. I think we've got enough time probably for one more. I might be able to squeeze two in if you want to get the little short pizza one in as well.
Oh shit! Yeah, you said the blue balls was a long one, didn't you?
The blue balls is quite a long one. Yeah, fuck. The birthday party one is a medium one. If you want to do the birthday party one and the pizza one, and then we'll leave. We can leave. We can leave the birthday party one.
We're at an hour.
We're at an hour now.
So, what do you want to do?
I think we can read the neighbour's pizza one, and then we can leave. We can leave the last two for people to read later. They'll be in the description, and. You can read them. You could read the comments and everything, which is pretty beautiful. We'll see how long it takes me to read this one.
All right.
If time permits, we'll get to the birthday party. We'll get to the birthday party one, but you'll have to read the blue balls one yourself. I apologise for the blue balling of that story.
Perfect.
Perfect. So. About 2 months ago, I decided that since my neighbour always snow blows my driveway. What's a snow blow? Is it
I suppose
just a leaf blower?
It's like a leaf blower, but with like
snow
extra power.
Oh wow! Wow!
I like it.
Snow blows my driveway and sidewalk every time that it snows. That I would buy him a pizza. We've always gotten along, same age as me, but we don't personalise at all, so they just don't chat. It's just like he just comes round every now and again. Did you drive?
Just blowing your drive, mate.
Just blowing on your drive.
It's actually just a man who comes around and just like melts all the snow.
He just spends hours. He's passed out in the snow. Cause I'm going to need some help.
I'm really going to need that pizza.
As I was getting ready to go for work, I open up my garage and see my neighbour out there doing my driveway. Oh, he's
just humping the driveway.
Doing your driveway. Oh, it's a really nice driveway. Now I've blowed it.
Well, got the foreplay out the way.
I yell to my wife, Jen, in brackets, to buy the man pizza. Buy this man a pizza.
Get that man a pizza.
She does. Thing is, that's very dangerous to buy somebody you don't know a pizza. They could be allergic to anything. You may have just killed this man. They could
be allergic to pizza.
Jesus, what a life.
How did this story get this far?
What a life. Imagine, though, you buy somebody a pizza and they just die. That's your driveway. Fucking
he was so grateful, he just caved in.
he caved in and ate the pizza and died. Fast forward, my wife is visiting her aunt in the hospital. This is where the story gets a little bit confusing where I read it last time, so I'll try and manoeuvre it. Fast forward, my wife is visiting her aunt in the hospital, and the aunt asked Jen to use her phone to call her longtime boyfriend Ryan on the phone. My wife thinks of him as an uncle, so she lets her use it. Jen comes home, and we are sitting around the house, and Jen gets a text that says, "So are you the one, so are you going to talk to me?" And Jen asks, "Who is this?" The reply, "Ryan." Jen says,
"I'm the bloke who blows your drive, innit?"
"I did your drive this morning. Sorry about the mess." Jen says, "Oh, I'll be going back to the hospital here in a bit. Do you guys need anything?" Ryan replies, "Do you want to get something to eat?" Jen replies, "No, we're going to eat here, and then I'm going into the hospital." At this point, we are saying that this is kind of strange. Then we get another text. "Do you want to meet me somewhere?" And Jen replies, "I'll be going to the hospital." Ryan replies,
"I'll meet you there."
"I'll see you there. I'm on my way. I'm in the ambulance. I did you drive too hard."
It's all frozen and crispy.
I got stack. Half of me's still there. "Do you want to meet me and get something to eat at the hospital?" Jen replies, "No, I'm not going anymore." She then proceeds to call her aunt to let her know that her boyfriend is trying to get her to go out to eat with him. I think I just had a little bit of a brain hemorrhage then. She then proceeds to call my aunt to let her know that her boyfriend is trying to get her to go to a meal, go out to a meal with him, and that he's being rather creepy. Her aunt asked what the number was. It wasn't his number. It wasn't Ryan's number. And says that Ryan had been there the whole time with her. But she'd asked him. I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling with this one.
Maybe we should have called it at the hour.
I've done the driveway. I've done the driveway too hard.
Oh, not again.
So she said Ryan's been there the whole time. So to fill you in on because this one's quite a complicated one. The kind of it gets a little bit weird. So Ryan's the boyfriend, the aunt's boyfriend, who's with her. Sorry. So the aunt says, "Oh, I'll ask him about it." So when we get the next, "So when can we meet to get something to eat?" Oh shit, that rhymed.
Ooh.
Text Jen says, "This isn't Uncle Ryan, is it?" She gets a reply, "Uncle? No." "So who is this?" Jen asks. I joke, "It's probably Ryan, our next door neighbour." Then we get the text, "Ryan Smith, our next door neighbour." Jen and I then figure he got Jen's number from the pizza delivery receipt. We were all pissed off, thinking he was spying on our family, jacking off and shit. I don't know.
Was that a direct quote?
Yeah, this is it. This is in here. Like,
well, he's always out doing the drive, isn't he?
He's doing the drive. I assume he's jacking off. Needless to say, we jump up to proceed to knock on his door. I about break my fist on it. So he's broke his fist. He's snapped his dick off in the drive. It's all going on.
What a mess.
And after a bit, he answers the door, acting all confused to what is going on. Jen and I yell at him, and at that time, Ryan, the neighbour's newish wife, comes down the street and pulls into the drive. She gets out looking all confused, and we tell her what is going on. And she pays little attention and says, "Well, I'm divorcing him anyways," and proceeds to go inside. Just, I've seen him doing that drive. I am not having it anymore.
His days are numbered.
Fuck, so they buy him a pizza, so he starts hitting on... You bought him a pizza, dude? Jesus Christ.
Well, to some people that means the world.
True. To
Crazy
be fair,
people.
To be fair, if somebody bought me a pizza,
I'd expect a Stuppen.
I would expect marriage, nothing less. We go back inside and talk it over, and I thought about it all, and I said, what if she was the one that found the pizza receipt? What if she was the one that was texting? Oh, shit. Oh, she doesn't know my wife's name. My wife later chases her outside, smoking and yelling across the road. It was you, wasn't it? She just... Oh, I thought she was just going, "It's you!
It's you! It's you!
Fuck my drive. I'll teach you." And she... It was you, wasn't it? And she admitted it, and thought Ryan had someone over to eat pizza when she wasn't home. My neighbour has been through more than a few crazy girlfriends. Fucking hell, that one was a roller coaster. I forgot about that one.
Roller coaster of emotions.
I remember that it was a bit complicated, but Jesus Christ, I didn't expect it to be that crazy. All right, so I think we'll leave the two. We'll leave the blue balls and the birthday party. But if we feel like we want to read them, we can always come back to them. But
we can always do an episode of just complete fuck ups.
Shit that we missed.
Yeah.
Complete and utter destroyed fuck
up.
But yeah, thank you everyone for listening to the first ever Clueless Internet podcast with me and Howard.
That's
I just pointed the wrong way. You couldn't see that. Doesn't matter. Fuck it. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on. We have a
well, we're hoping to be up
Podbean.
on iTunes,
Podbean, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. That we'll
try and get there. Yeah.
We will try and get there.
And if we're not on something, let us know.
But yeah, our Twitter will be in the description. Links, everything will be wherever the text will be. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.
Have a wonderful day.
Don't fuck drives.
No, you get stuck.